communications detected.
Oh yes, that was me. One shot in Leicester with a pistol. I couldn't quite believe it. Huge shout out to Tony and Broken, who took me through the incursion, showing me how these speedrunners do their thing. What's up, agents? Welcome back to another Division video. Today this is going to be one of my runs. I think it was a 17-minute run in total in the brand new Broken Rain incursion, showing you exactly how the speedrunners do their thing. None of it's a secret. They were really kind about that. There were no like super secret strats or anything like that they didn't want to share with us. Yes, there are different ways of doing things, and in some of the runs they've actually been able to one-shot the last boss. We didn't do that. We used the slap tech videos that you've probably seen me putting out. But for my first practice run with these guys, me and Dognuts were brand new to it. They said literally them two who speedrun all the time, bring two other people. We'll show you the strats. We'll have a few practice runs. We did it live as well, so you might have already seen this. But it was a huge amount of fun, and I think for our first time, where we didn't really care too much about dying, we just wanted to get the fights down. It was really good. I am going to release the videos for the builds that they asked me to wear as well. So if you're wondering about the builds, stay tuned for that. That will probably be the next video. I just don't want to merge the two together because it'll be too long. But let's get straight into the actual footage. Okay, so you're going to get the full narration from me for this rather than actually just let it run. That way then I can actually show you or tell you exactly as well what it was, the actual strategy was for each area. First thing though, just get to the first boss fight as quick as you can. I got this bit really easy. The rest of the guys all have sniper builds set up for this initial bit, and they take all the enemies down really quickly from the initial ridge where you drop down. I'll show you where in just a second. I actually end up going down first. So you'll just be able to see them there here now. So while I'm putting my harvest on that I need for the next bit, you can see they're all firing away with their sniper builds and getting all of the enemies down. And as you can see, by the time I get down there, almost everything is actually dead. I got some bonus stacks here ready for Leicester.
One near me. Going down towards the gate.
Because you don't have a lot of time. So then basically get to the dog. You can right click your mouse to skip the movement that it does if you didn't know that already. I think double tapping space to roll as well does that as well. But the idea is to get in cover, get as many stacks as you can. You can see I get overcharged for the smart cover that I pop. Pop your Achilles pulse when he drops down. And hopefully you're at max stacks, which you can see I am. And then shoot with your pistol. To harvest with flatline on for the most damage, but like I said, I will post all of the videos in the next video after that. Probably if you're speedrunning, don't collect your loot. But essentially this was really like a second or third try, so it was kind of like, yeah, that's great that we end up with a 17 minutes. You will see the build. I'm not going to hide anything, so if you do want to pause and have a look, but I'll go through them in much more detail in the next video. So for this next bit, the idea was that we, as 3 DPS, ignore absolutely everything and go and kill the APC and do the mechanics. While Broken brings down the dog.
Oh dear, what? Nothing, just sweaty. Old man gets sweaty doing fast things.
So you can see we just run down. We do like a bit of a decoy thing. We took it in turns dropping decoys to keep them distracted. But what we found here was that we got way less enemies the quicker you do it. I always thought it was a set of enemies that you had to get, but it seems that you actually get less enemies the quicker that you actually do it. I've got the big owl on, so I need cover for this from the most damage. And that was literally because that was the next fight. That's what I wanted to use, the big owl. And although you can kill the next boss with a one-shot as well, it was just quicker as a team to do it. So So we leave Tony down for this. That's not necessarily what needed to happen or anything like that. That's not any super secret strat. But just to get the next bit done, as you can see, there's no enemies in front of me and Dognuts. So it was literally just get to the doors, press the buttons. And get it down.
Now you should be able to operate the crane.
So you can see the build there that I had on. I'm popping smart cover on. Oh, it's already on. That's okay then. Thing as well, what you'll notice in this video is I do a lot of things that I didn't need to do. And that's because basically I'm not used to speed running. I'll be absolutely honest with you. You know, I've done it before a few times and stuff and things like that. But I always don't want to let the rest of my team down by being the one that messes it up. So you will see mistakes like that with me, or things that I could do faster.
Yeah.
You guys gonna get healing in a second.
You can stand in this explosion here, by the way. It just staggers you. So basically the trick here is to throw a decoy behind the enemy spawn, which I don't do. Oh yeah, there you go, I do it. So that when they come up, you're alright. So we're in smart cover again, we're going to get an overcharge. I did have C in red on for the gloves, but getting the nade on him is a little bit tricky. But basically just use the build. As you can see, Broken sledges him and an opportunistic's him standing up on the top. You've got 3 Big Al striker builds that just go ham on him, and he's dead in seconds, which is crazy. For the next one, this is the one I found the most difficult, because where they actually do the strat, I died a lot. I couldn't really find my place on where I could be safe, and dying a lot, I felt like a bit of a burden in this next fight. But essentially what they did say to me was, during the initial opening sequence for this next bit, you have 2 minutes and 30 seconds of ads that you get regardless. So it doesn't matter how many times you die within that 2 minutes and 30 seconds, as long as you're kind of prepped for the boss to come out at that point, it really doesn't matter how much you actually die, because it can be pretty awkward. You've got snipers on the entrance point, just where we're going in now, and then you've got snipers also on the exit point as well. Just a little bit of a note here for what we're doing. So when you get to this point, you can actually be in combat still, but if you fast travel to one of your teammates, it actually takes you out of combat, which then enables you to change your build.
All good.
So we hop down. So the strategy is here, Broken is going to do the cogs and the computer stuff, and we're all going to go into the middle. Now the build was a little bit tricky with this. It involved a busy little B stacks, being ready with frenzy, which I don't think I was ready with either. I think I'm kind of getting it ready now at this point to take them down. You can see it is negotiators. We have got a sniper in there as well that is taking a lot of the heat off us, so because they can one tap the enemies. I assume that might actually change with the determined change, but who knows? It might actually become easier with exotic sniper perhaps, or something like that. But essentially, basically get your frenzy ready, switch to another gun, and basically just keep yourself alive, killing enemies that are rushing you and things like that. The enemies that you don't want to kill though with this point is the gunners. So essentially anyone that comes out that's a gunner type enemy, you want to keep them alive, because when the boss comes out, you're going to use them to kill the boss extremely quickly. But at some points it can begin to feel like you're under a bit of a firing squad. It is a little bit tricky. You can see I think I've been dead 2 or 3 times already. So for me, I definitely need more practice on this third boss. But them enemies up there as well were the worst. I was also using the blacklisters, which they said to me was the best, you know, for me at this point. But if I was struggling with them, I could have switched them off. I didn't switch them off. I kind of wanted to get used to trying using them. I've never used the blacklisters ever before because of how terrible they are. But for damage for this point, they obviously can give out an absolute ton of damage.
It's like taking ages. But yeah, we need to kill the bottom ad, the bottom normal ad.
Yeah, so we've just got the 2.5 minutes now of, as you can see, look, there's gunners kind of everywhere. I'm getting the frenzy ready as well.
Sniper
Sniper exit.
But just to kind of talk you through how it's meant to work. So frenzy ready, busy little bee stacked on every enemy. The boss comes out, switch to that gun, take advantage of the busy little bee damage as well, and shoot a gunner with negotiators. Obviously you've tagged the boss beforehand as well, and it's game over. Whether this will survive upcoming patches or not, I am not terribly sure. Because let's face it, it might not.
Bro, my phone fucked up every time. It's so bad. No healing, whatever.
Because whether negotiators is meant to work on her or not, kind of don't feel like it should do.
I can get them.
You're not doing damage to her, so they might go in on her. Who knows? But then saying that, we have that exact same situation when it comes to Boomer in the Iron Horse. In the Dark Hours raid, you can do it in that as well. There is also the Furnace boss in Iron Horse where you can do the same as well and transfer damage to them as well. So it's not like it's completely unheard of. But there you go already. The boss is dead and it's game over. It works really, really well. I didn't really take use of my busy little bee stacks or anything like that. I was too overwhelmed at this point. Like I said, I need much more practice on this bit. But essentially, the guys carried me to success. So at this point then, you basically kill all the rest of the enemies and you're just running up to the final boss.
It's catharsis.
Now the final boss, there's a few different things here that they actually gave me that I could run. I'm not sure which one I actually used in this one. Maybe it was my Frenzy GR9 or the Backfire. Both work really, really well in this last situation because essentially we've got a lot of healing. So you don't have to put any kind of Hasbro on. The build just becomes negligible. You don't really bother about the bleed too much. So a good, strikers build here at the end is going to get you absolutely through. I will show you the one that they recommended to me as well as the ones that I actually tried out and used to try and make my life a little bit easier. A decoy though is absolutely key. We're going to absolutely fight from the center of the arena. So that's one thing to note here as well.
Yeah, we should be good soon.
But I just can't wait to see what the speedrunning community comes up with next. This is already really, really cool. So to see what they come up with next is, is great.
So I had stationary form. So it works basically.
And if anything gets changed, how they come up with dealing with that as well. This section's really nothing too much to worry about. Essentially, all we're going to do is run through and kill things as fast as we can. Unlike me, you can't even climb a rope. Not climbing things very fast there.
Yeah, that sounds strange. I mean, I've had the issue where my chem aims to the ground for no reason when you're ready is.
Yes, Kingdom, just having some fun doing some strats. No.
Okay, I got it. Yeah,
I've got ads instant.
You get the purple, I'm going. Yeah, I'm going.
So I'll tell you how it came about, how we're killing these ads quick. I was sat on my fat ass on the couch and I was flipping TikTok and Tony came up one popping bosses on my TikTok and I was like,
it is interesting watching my own footage back, which I do find rather interesting in the fact that how much better at this game I could actually be.
It's fun to do a more casual
or maybe not, maybe I'm at my cap, maybe these guys are just insanely better. We're up the quicksand steps.
Slid into each other's DMs.
Oh, we're keeping that bit private.
Now you are going to see a little bit of tech here that was brand new. I think even to them, I think it was pretty brand new. But you pop on the fire sticky, and if you press the button to get the key, and then kill yourself straight afterwards, you actually keep the key without it actually degrading with the timer.
I don't know.
There's nothing really I can do. Outside.
As you can see, the rest of the team wipes as well. So when you respawn, I've still got the key from the previous chat that they do. So essentially then you can see that somebody else then gets the key and then you wipe again. And obviously then you do that a third time and somebody else gets the key. And that's all 3 keys that you need for this section. So obviously then the tank doesn't have to do any running back and forth because we'll just do one initial run in between each section. They'll press the buttons outside and you clear this section
Why?
way
Just watch what
quicker
happens now, Chris.
than you need to. So just watch what happens now. So we run out.
You'll see.
Obviously this is probably not intended, and you know, again, like anything else, maybe this is going to be expected to change, but as of right now this is definitely the quickest way of doing it. So you can see we're making the run. There's no assault course here at this point because we've not got the key active, but we've all got 3 keys, so that's absolutely fine. In you go. I press the button, and then outside you can see Broken presses his button, and then the next person puts theirs in. Broken presses the next one, and vice again until you finish them off. And at that point then you can see we're 2 out of 3 at the top with the sluice gates, and any second now we are 3 out of 3, and you've got that section done really quickly. So there's obviously some negatives to doing that. If you're doing this for a flawless, you're not going to get a flawless doing it like that. And don't forget, there is also a backpack trophy for doing this final fight flawless as well. So you know, you won't be able to get that as well. So do check with your other team members when you're doing it, especially if you're in pickups or things like that, that they don't need the flawless first. Otherwise you're killing the chance of them even getting it. And then we kind of hunker down here in the middle, healing down. And one thing we did do when the boss finally shows up, we did actually kill some ads to kind of just take the heat off us a little bit, to stop us getting overrun. Because I'm a noob, we tend to get overrun a little bit when in the other fights, when we did this initial start of it. So you can see here we're just taking down ads until it's a bit calmer, and then next up, break her backpack and her helmet. And you know what's coming next. I posted short videos on this previously already. The slap tech is incoming.
Another gunner, I need to get rid of.
I can do some flame nades here, just to disrupt that. Let me know when something breaks.
So dizzy. Proper
So she didn't help with her running away a little bit. She can be a little bit awkward. But obviously once she breaks, the good thing about her is that she will run to the centre because she needs to get herself in one of the SHD tech boxes. So you can see already how much quicker, you know, even this run could have been if we were unlucky in some of the other segments.
Mine's down too.
And then basically now you can see that Broken is slapping her. He was trying to figure out the exact timing. And we just go ham as much as we possibly can. I probably could have done with being a little bit further away from her, to be honest, because I was getting disrupted a lot as well. As you can see there, she actually managed to get the box off. But never fear, never fear. We kill a few enemies. I mean, this could have been a 14 or a 15 minute.
Break your backpacks and stuff if you can. This might be a while, so just fine.
Get the decoy out. And now being a little bit further away from her with my positioning. Trying not to be disrupted by it.
Broke.
Why is she killing though? Go to the thing, holy.
Yeah, we did, Freezy.
Watching this back, you just think how much better some of this could have gone.
Agent deceased.
Getting heavy
Tips.
But as you can see now, down she goes. Lots to learn from my own gameplay style, that's for sure. And there she goes. And she actually drops me the ACR as well, which was great because I got to give this to Tony, who didn't actually have one yet as well. Unfortunately, it wasn't a damaged target out of cool one. That still eludes me because we don't have the blueprint.
I can take one.
So yellow on a sniper.
Yeah.
I think it was a critical hit damage one.
Yeah, I got it.
But again, huge shout out to Broken and to Tony. I will link both their channels down below in the description. What a lot of fun it was. It was just really great
Does the timer stop there, or do you have to
have this experience, and hopefully they'll have me back for another run at some point in the future, and maybe they'll have some other super secret strats that they'll be able to show us.
Yeah, last time it was boss 3.
Here comes the screen.
I still don't really know how to learn.
I feel like it was.
17.
I feel like it was quicker.
There we go. There's our 17 minutes. Thanks for watching, agents. I'll see you in the next one.
Let's get you home.
Yeah, I don't know.